Are you ready to apply the lean startup method? So far in this module, I've introduced the three parts of the lean startup, which are vision, steering, and accelerate. The important thing to remember about the lean startup method is the importance of learning. The entire first part of this course really focused on the vision. So on the rest of the course, we'll focus on steering and acceleration. What you want to do is learn along the way. At the core of a handyman startup is the spark or catalyst that transforms your ideas into services. As each customer segment purchases and experiences your service, they generate feedback and data. And this data is qualitative, such as what they like or don't like about your service, or quantitative, such as, how many people hired you to do a particular type of job and found your service valuable. The data you collect is more important than even a free press release, in that it provides the information you need to steer your business. Remember, steering is part 2 of the lean startup method, and you've got to steer your business in the right direction before you can accelerate it.
Steering is accomplished through a build, measure, learn feedback loop, which is really the core of the lean startup method. And here's how it works. It all begins with an idea for a product or service. And once you've made a decision about what service you want to offer, take that idea and build a product. In the case of starting a handyman business, you're deciding upon which services to offer. Now, this is why I like niche business ideas applied to starting a handyman business. It's not necessary, but if you have a limited budget and need to start on a shoestring, man, there's riches in niches. Let's take a look at this diagram to visualize the 3-step process. At the top of this diagram is your vision, right? The thing that you've been putting together all this time. Now we've got to take that vision, we've got to build a minimum viable product and get it into the marketplace. An example of this for a handyman business might be offering a specific service like installing high-quality gutter covers that never clog. So there's a brand called Leaf Sentry, and they make a great product that installs over existing gutters and is a fraction of the cost of installing, custom extruded aluminum gutters like the Leaf Guard brand. Now, next, you want to measure the outcome of your MVP, your minimum viable product. Answer the questions mentioned earlier. What do your customers like or don't like about your service? How many people hired you to install the gutter covers and found your service valuable? You can also decide if your pricing is profitable for what customers are willing to pay. Do you need to lower the price, or are you giving it away too cheap? Lastly, learning happens when you analyze the data you received and make pivot or persevere decisions based upon what you've learned. Maybe your offering was so successful that you decide to niche your business around gutters. You become the go-to guy for cleaning gutters, just so you can offer a permanent solution around solving the problem forever with the installation of Leaf Sentry gutter covers. This is now an iterative feedback loop that allows you to keep learning. Let's run through an entire scenario so I can better explain how this might work for you. Let's say you decide to run a gutter cleaning offer. You advertise during the fall when you know tons of gutters are being clogged. You decide to target homeowners in an old neighborhood full of trees. The gutters are so bad they probably need to be cleaned once or even twice a month for the next 3 months. That's as many as 6 cleanings for each house during this 3-month window. Now, your assumption is that your gutter cleaning offer will give you a chance to upsell each prospect on installing a permanent solution. Your plan is to educate each prospect on how clogged gutters will lead to major repairs down the road. You compare and contrast the cost of cleaning over time with the one-time installation cost of the Leaf Century product. It's a huge savings to get them installed over cleaning them every fall and perhaps in the spring as well. Now it's time to put your assumptions to the test. First, you create a direct mail advertising campaign targeting the right neighborhood. Just as you thought, your phone begins to ring off the hook with people who need their gutters cleaned. When you arrive to give an estimate, you come prepared with a small 1-foot mock-up section of fascia board with a gutter and your proposed Leaf Century attached. Like you planned, you give both estimates at the same time. Let's say your customer has 125 linear feet of gutters to be cleaned on a 1-story home. You charge $1 per linear foot to clean gutters, or as much as $2 per linear foot if they haven't been cleaned in years. The quote is going to look something like this. 125 feet times $1 is $125 per cleaning. That's the minimum amount, right? And you tell them that's going to be at least 2 cleanings per month, which is $250. And every month for the next 3 months, or $750 during the fall when the leaves are at their worst. Now is your chance to educate the customer. First, you tell them the importance of having properly working, unclogged gutters and the damage that can be caused if they don't keep up with it. Once you do that, they begin to understand the real value proposition you're offering. Now that they can appreciate having clean gutters, this is when you can offer a cost-saving solution. Here's where you break out your custom-made mock-up sales tool. You show them how the Leaf Century works and offer to clean gutters and install the Leaf Century for one low price. Let's say that is that same 125 feet of linear gutters, right, at $8 per linear feet for the Leaf Century installed, or $1,000 for clean gutters forever. Let's recap. You created a minimum viable product and tested it in the marketplace. You tested the offering with enough prospects to measure your assumptions. Now, what have you learned? Let's take a look. Let's say it cost you $750 in advertising cost, and you gave 100 estimates throughout the month, and 10% decided to have the product installed. All right, using the earlier figures, that's 10 customers times $1,000. We'll just use that single-story house that's got 125 feet of linear gutters. That's $10,000 in top-line revenue for the month. In addition, 20 more customers opted to just have their gutters cleaned for an additional, 20 times 125, $2,500. All right, so you would have earned $12,500 in revenue for the month. Now, let's take a look. Cost of advertising and materials was $4,200. So that comes off the top of the total profit, right? So let's take a look at this. $10,000 plus $2,500, that's $12,500. Now, subtract the advertising costs and the cost of materials. Let's say $4,250. That's $8,250 that you've earned profit for the month. What have you learned? Now, you can apply this same iterative feedback loop to any new offering you can come up with. Just be creative. Come up with your assumptions and test them against the market. Measure the outcome and learn from the experience. That's the build, measure, learn success formula.